A very good evening and thank you for joining us. This is Primetime News. I'm Selima Shimwefileni Masipa. Leading our news bulletin tonight, 10 heads of mission earlier today presented their letters of credence to President Dr. Hage Geingob at State House. The heads of mission pledged to cooperate for the mutual benefit of the people of their countries and the people of Namibia. Let's listen in to a portion of the proceedings.
We've had very good relations with Namibia, so we'd like to strengthen and expand those relations, and we're looking into economic possibilities and people-to-people contact, because as you know, there's quite a number of Filipinos here in Namibia, so we'd like to contact them also and see how to put things forward. We're also hoping to establish an honorary consul here, because we are based in Pretoria. I'm non-resident. So that's something that we're looking at, and of course is to establish a bilateral mechanism for dialogue. This is very important for us.
There are a number of sectors that I would like to build upon what he has achieved, mainly in the area of food security, energy security, capacity development, because it is the right human resource that can contribute significantly to the nation building. So India is doing and training people, providing wherever the requirements are. We are through various capacity building programs.
I look forward, Your Excellency, henceforth to picking on the work that has been done by my predecessors towards strengthening the already existing political relationship and also bilateral relationship between our two countries for the mutual benefit of our two peoples.
To strengthen the ties, to maintain the high level of relations, political and diplomatic relations, but also we have the commitment to improve the economic relations at the same level that the political and diplomatic relations are.
In the footstep of my predecessors, we will continue to enhance the cooperation in the field of education, agriculture, and tourism and cultural activities.
Cancer Association of Namibia Chief Executive Officer Rolf Hansen says members of public should not see cancer as a vulnerability or a death sentence. In an interview with the Namibia Press Agency today, Hansen stated that society ought to adopt a paradigm shift as far as the disease is concerned. Let's listen in.
There is cancer in men, women, and we see an increase in childhood cancers globally as well. Any one of us can be affected. Yes, you are right. We have the stigma where we say it's mostly a white person's disease. It is mostly a woman's disease. It's a mostly old person's disease. We are now seeing more children being diagnosed. We are seeing younger women in their 20s being diagnosed with breast cancer. That was always an old woman's disease. We are seeing younger men with prostate cancer, even in their 30s. So the dynamics of the disease is changing because our molecular structure, our DNA structure, and our lifestyle influences are changing. So everyone is affected, and we all have a responsibility. It is our collective responsibility to talk about cancer and not say it is that one's disease, it's that one's risk. Husband, wife need to protect each other, and parents need to protect the children. So it affects the entire family.
In last night's lead, we reported on the discovery of 2 bodies with gunshot wounds to their heads at Farm Josephine in the Dordabus district of the Khomas region. In a new twist of events, the suspect in the double murder allegedly shot and killed himself on Wednesday morning in the Oshana region. More details in this report.
According to Namibian Police Force spokesperson Kauna Shikwambi, police officers visited the suspect identified as 30-year-old Michael Martin on Wednesday morning at Oshikoyo village at Eheke in the Oshana region, where he allegedly turned a gun on himself, dying instantly. Shikwambi said Martin shot himself in clear view of the police and some family members. The stolen vehicle was found a few meters away from his residence. The firearm used is among the stolen items from the farm. This comes after the suspect was allegedly involved in the murder of 22-year-old Visa Bok and 30-year-old Albertes Bok, whose bodies police discovered on Tuesday on Farm Josephine with gunshot wounds on their heads. Police investigations into the matter continue.
Moving on to neighboring South Africa, where we are tracking a story that has grabbed global headlines. Authorities earlier today announced that fugitive Thabo Bester, together with his female accomplice, have been extradited from Tanzania. Bester escaped from a privately run prison in Bloemfontein in May last year, but South African police only found out last month. More from this report.
On Saturday, South African Justice Minister Ronald Lamola announced that Thabo Bester had been arrested by Tanzanian authorities on Friday night, along with a woman, a Mozambican national with whom he is reportedly romantically involved. Earlier today, Lamola said the pair had been extradited to South Africa. Bester and the woman landed at a privately owned airport north of Johannesburg in the early hours of Thursday. The father of the woman was earlier this week charged with murder in connection with the man found dead in Bester's cell.
Stay tuned for the business segment. Welcome to Primetime Biz, the segment that brings you in-depth analysis of trends in the world of business and economics. Leading the segment, Nova Nam Fishing Company has been bestowed the first fish standard for Crew International certification of labor by Bureau Veritas for its labor standards on board deep-sea fishing trawlers operating in the country. FISH stands for Fairness, Integrity, Safety and Health for Crew. Let's find out why.
Nova Nam spokesperson Anna Marie Molatudi, in a media statement availed on Wednesday, said the certification was awarded after Bureau Veritas conducted an audit by inspecting, evaluating the fleet under demanding standards and interviewing the crews. He added that with the FISH standard for crew certification, it is evident that the company was at the forefront of sustainability in its social aspect, and the FISH certification gives harvesters a way to demonstrate their commitment to fairness and responsibility to their stakeholders. The Nova Nam deep sea fishing fleet consists of wet fish and freezer trawlers, including the newly built Lelandi 1, Nova Nam 1, and Nova Nam 2. The Lelandi 1 captain, Ulrich Anakel, said that the audit went well and he was happy that such a system is introduced to monitor how the seagoing team is treated and what working conditions are in place. Reporting for Primetime News, it's Pamela Harasis.
Residents of single quarters at Oshivarongo held a meeting with their local authority councillors to discuss a decongesting plan of their 30 houses in the Orvetoveni residential area. Oshivarongo Mayor Gottlieb Shivute chaired the meeting alongside his deputy Julienda Kampungu at the Orvetoveni Community Hall. More on this meeting in this story.
Over 60 single quarter residents who attended had called on the municipality to be clear in its decongestion plan. Oshivarongo Mayor Gottlieb Shivute and Oshivarongo Chief Executive Officer Moses Machai in return told them that their housing system would come to an end one day as there is overcrowding which makes their place uninhabitable. Machai explained that the municipality has a plan to channel water, electricity, and create street roads to a variety of places in the eastern areas of the town. Therefore, it would be better for them to also acquire plots there and move to these new dwellings. The single quarter residents have been skeptical about moving out, saying the proposed Camp 5 township is far from town, which makes it far from their workplaces, schools, hospitals, and shops. The municipality owns the single quarters and it argues that the 30 houses are overcrowded with 120 occupants.
That brings us to the end of our top news segment for tonight. Stay tuned for the economics roundup, followed by the weather forecast. Welcome to Sport Planet. 4 young athletes who represent 3 different athletic clubs have met the qualifying standard for the Confederation of African Athletics Championships. The biannual championships will take place in Lusaka, Zambia later this month. The Continental Championships are specifically for junior athletes from African nations. Letu Hamola, an athletics coach and organizer of the Commerce Region's Athletics Championships, noted that the young athletes who have met the qualifying times for this competition exhibit great potential. Hamola shared this in a recent interview with the Namibia Press Agency. On to Europa football. Manchester United on Wednesday confirmed Marcus Rashford will be absent from their Europa League quarter-final first leg match against Sevilla due to a muscle injury that is likely to sideline him for a few games. Rashford, who has scored 28 goals for the team this season, was forced to leave the pitch during United's 2-0 Premier League victory over Everton last Saturday. However, United's attack has been strengthened by the recent return of Anthony Martial, who scored the second goal against Everton. Additionally, loan signing Wout Weghorst provides another option in the attacking front. Creative midfielder Christian Eriksen, who returned from a lengthy injury layoff as a substitute against Everton, is also expected to contribute to the team, whilst Brazilian midfielder Casemiro is expected to rejoin the squad for tonight's game against Sevilla after serving a suspension. Your sports roundup is up next. And with that, we've reached the end of tonight's broadcast. Thank you for watching. From myself, Selima Shimwe Feleni Masipa, and the entire production team, it's good night.